Yeah, that's a great point in chat. Since Live Nation affects so much, a band might be scared to ruffle someone's feathers because they could lose so much. I 100% agree. I see it happen in tons of different markets. And it's not just with Live Nation or Ticketmaster or anything like that. It goes to every aspect of the music industry. Like when I was touring in country music, it's almost a given that every single night there's going to be somebody from radio at a show because radio runs the US country market. They don't care about album sales. They don't care about stuff like that. They just care about who's going to have the next #1 single. And they know that the radio stations control all of that. They want to stay in good graces with the radio people, the hosts, the programmers, all that. I have been told at shows, hey, so-and-so from radio is going to be here tonight. They can do whatever they want. I don't care if they're in our way. I don't care if they're in your way. Figure out a way around it because tonight, that person is daddy. That is a legitimate quote that I have gotten from an artist before. So-and-so is going to be here tonight, and they are our daddy. Think about that. Fucking radio promoters are controlling people's careers, dude. But it's all the same shit. It's the same companies that have dissolved and formed into new stuff because, Live Nation and Clear Channel were doing stuff, and now iHeartMedia is all involved in Live Nation. It's all right. Let's talk about this really quick because this was a question that came up multiple times in chat, and it's a good question. Who still listens to radio? Country fans and top 40 fans. And I've done this before, but I'll do it again because as rock and metal fans, I think all of us probably would agree that none of us really listen to the radio. Like we're listening to most of our stuff on streaming and albums and stuff like that. So really quick, just to prove the point of that is that like a lot of rock and metal fans don't listen to radio. So the #1 song on active rock radio in the US right now is Surrender by Godsmack. And these numbers on the top corner of the screen right here where you can see my cursor are spins. So you see this week, TW, it had 1,738 spins on the radio countrywide, with an audience impression of 3.598 million listeners. That means that through those 1,738 spins for that song this week, an estimated 3.598 million listeners heard that song on the radio. Now this is rock. Top rock songs in the US, 1,700 spins, 3.5 million audience impression. Let's move over to country. These numbers are low compared to how they normally are. So maybe radio is dying out for country too, but the #1 song in country airplay, which is the country radio charts in the US right now this week is Don't Come Lookin' by Jackson Dean. Spins this week, 8,100. So over 4 times more than rock. Average audience impression, 33.628 million people. 10 times more people listen to country radio than rock radio in the United States. But, dude, the country market is changing a ton too. Cause like up until 2022, really this year, I was working in country and some of these names I don't even recognize. Like the #1 song, Jackson Dean, don't know who that is. Bailey Zimmerman, no idea. Shane Prophet, no idea. Like there's new names on here within the last year that I don't even know who the they are. And they're already in the top radio charts. Let's go top 40 really quick before we finish this. Even bigger. The #1 song on top 40 radio in the US this week, Sam Smith and Kim Petras with the song Unholy, has 18,000 spins. That's double the amount that rock and country got combined. Audience impression of 62.225 million listeners. That's double the #1 song in country. So it's safe to say that while rock and metal radio is pretty much non-existent in the US for the most part, top 40 is crushing, and so is country. I'm curious to see what hip-hop charts look like. Urban chart, not familiar. I guess this is what they're calling the rap chart now. King Combs featuring Kodak Black, Can't Stop, Won't Stop. 5,600 spins this week. 15 million audience impression. That's, half as many people listening to that as country, but 5 times more than rock and metal. Let's look at R&B. Just even R&B. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, that's interesting. This doesn't even have audience impression on it, but the #1 song in R&B has more spins this week than rock and metal. It's crazy. But that just goes to my point, is that rock and metal fans aren't really listening to the radio, but everyone else is. I can't really stand the radio too, and for the most part, it's the personalities. And I'll tell you right now, just from meeting some of the personalities when I was doing country music and pop, because I worked for Nick Jonas for a minute, like, they're the fucking worst, dude. They're the absolute worst people in the music industry. They're fucking lame, and they don't realize they're lame because everybody's kissing their ass because they know that they fucking control what gets on the radio. But I just want to be the person to say, like, if any fucking radio hosts ever see this video, which I don't know if they will, you guys are fucking lame. Nobody actually really enjoys you backstage at our shows. Our artists just tell us that we have to fucking put up with you.